Hi, this is Jeannie from Trendy Tree. Today I'm going to redo my lantern and maybe do an Easter decoration. These are very somber times. I know you're all worried just like we are. We don't know what next week is going to bring with the coronavirus, and we're just trying to do the best we can. We are working. Trendy Tree is very blessed in that we are able to, or Carrie and David go to the warehouse and work and get orders out. And, you know, we're in a small town, so, you know, everything in our small town is shut down, you know, no church. Some of the restaurants are open, but we don't have that many to start with. Our grocery stores are open. Our Walmart has cut back on its hours. There's some things in town that we're out of. We're out of alcohol, but we have plenty of soap and water, and we have food. We may not have exactly what we want. My husband had to go to town today looking for a loaf of bread for his mom. She's 89 and still lives in a small apartment. So he went looking for bread for her and couldn't find any. But the last store that he went to, he was on his way out and the bread man was coming in. So he got her bread and took it to her. So I asked him, I said, well, how many loaves did you get? And he said, 1. And I thought, well, okay, you know, we've got a half a loaf left, so no, he should not have bought 10 loaves and brought them home or anything like that. So we're trying to do what's the best thing. We're trying to stay safe. We are washing our hands, and we're keeping contacts at a minimum, and that's just all we can do right now, and pray that this will pass soon. So I thought today I need to do something cheerful and something a little uplifting. So I'm going to take my lantern, and I got this cute little velvet bunny. He's kind of, I mean, they call him velvet. It's not really velvet. It's kind of a flocked styrofoam bunny. And of course, this comes from Trendy Tree, and it's available in several different colors, like blue and yellow and white, and this pink. And this pink is called Beauty Pink. That's just the color. It's just a dark pink. And I also brought out some of these little battery lights. I love these lights. This is a 20 light strand, and well, I don't know how many feet that is. I didn't look at that measurement, but these lights have a timer, and they have several different modes that you can set them on. And the thing that I love about these lights is it tells you right on the back of the box. Number 1 is a combination. Number 2 is in waves. 3 is sequential. But these have it all listed, so I'm going to just put them on for steady on right now for my purposes today. So the first thing I've got to do, I've already taken the white battery candle that I had in my lantern out, and I got to take off my bow and take out my cardinals that I had. And then I had this is called faux snow. It really is kind of like a white plastic grass. And I think I'll just go ahead and use that for like Easter grass, but it's called faux snow on the website. And it comes in a bag, and it's made of plastic, and you can kind of, you know, stretch it out and that kind of thing. So I'm still going to use that as a base for my bunny and put him in there. And I may need to set him up on a riser to kind of elevate him a little bit, because he's just, you know, well, let's see. He might show up a little better if I elevate him. So I'll probably set him on a riser and just raise him up a little bit. And then I have this jelly ribbon. I've got several different colors. I've got clear with an iridescent finish on the edge. That's a 2.5-inch ribbon. I've got lime green, orange, and then a pink. So I thought I'd just make a real cheerful bow and put it on top, and we'll have the lights in there, and we'll just see how it turns out. So the first thing I'm going to do is just take what I already have on my lantern off and get it ready. Now you can make a riser out of a lot of different things. You can take a little square box and cover it with ribbon or wrapping paper, or turn a butter bowl upside down, anything like that. This is just a white candle that I have that was sitting on the dresser. So for a couple of weeks, I'm just going to take it and I'm just going to use that. And then I'm going to put my little white faux snow around that. And we're just going to use that for our riser. I like this type of lantern because it's all glass on all four sides, so it doesn't have a lot of intricate detail or anything. I like that open view of the lantern. So that's gonna be about right. He's elevated so you can see him a little bit better. Because typically this lantern sits on my hearth, so it'll show up better that way. And then I'm gonna take the lights and I'm gonna kind of vary the battery pack to the back and just kind of spread the lights out around inside. Now, if my lantern was going to be sitting right out in the middle of the room, like on a coffee table or something like that, where it would show, I would take more pains to cover up the battery pack. But we're going to be viewing this lantern from the front, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. I had thought about maybe letting some of the lights kind of swirl around on the inside and then come up through on the bow too. So there's an opening here at the top, so I'm just going to thread that through there just to see if that is feasible. And if it's not, I can always redo it. But that way it would kind of make that jelly ribbon bow sparkle a little bit. We'll just see how that works. Okay, that's okay for right now. I can work more on that later. So what we're going to do next is make our bow. So I'm just going to kind of push that out of the way. I'm going to use my Easy Bow Maker, and the Easy Bow Maker is a product that we sell on Trendy Tree. It's a very simple product. It's just a piece of wood and a couple of pegs. Now, if you buy one of these, it comes in a box and you insert the pegs. And you'll notice when you insert the pegs, you'll think they're not going to go down in there. You have to kind of tap them down in there to make them fit down in the holes good. You don't want them where they're coming out all the time. They're made to fit in there very snug. It has markings on it so you can measure your ribbon. So I'm just going to get that, and it has an extra peg here for a ribbon holder. So I'm going to adjust my camera and zoom in so you can see the bow closer up. Now we're going to need a zip tie and a chenille stem, and usually after I make my bow, I use some ribbon to tie it to the top of the lantern. But I think with the jelly ribbon that might be a little too hard to just tie around the top of the lantern. So I've got an extra zip tie. I think I may need to attach it with a zip tie, but we'll see. And I brought some orange jelly ribbon, some lime green, turquoise, clear, and some pink. I'm going to lay the orange aside for now. I think I'm just going to stick with these four colors. There's 3 2.5 inch and one 1 inch or 1.5 inch. So I'm going to start out with the pink, and I've never made a whole bow with jelly ribbon before, so we'll just try it and see. Well, okay. So I'm going to start, and I'm going to go ahead and cut that folded end off, and I will come back later. This is wired ribbon. I'll come back later and dovetail the ends of those ribbons, but I'm going to start with about a 16-inch tail. And that may be too long, but I can always shorten it. And then I'm just going to pinch the ribbon up, drop it down in the slot, give the ribbon a twist, and I'm going to make a 6-inch loop. The edges of this ribbon is iridescent, kind of an iridescent foil. And then I'm going to twist, get the right side up, and make a 6-inch loop on the other side. I'm just using the markings on my board. Twist, make another 6-inch loop. This reminds me of the vinyl raincoats that we wore in the 70s. Everybody had vinyl raincoats that were such pretty colors. Okay, so I'm going to start out with 4 loops with the pink. So I'm going to be ready to end off. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that tail about 16 inches. But I'm going to kind of put that tail opposite. I have a tail here and a tail here. And just spread those loops out a little bit. Now the next time I'm going to use the clear. And I had already trimmed that tail off. I'm going to make these tails a little bit shorter. Just a little bit shorter, just a couple of inches. Drop that down. And this time I'm going to put that tail, I'm kind of making my tails all opposite of each other. Because this is going to be a bow that's going to fit on top of the lantern and kind of hang down, you know, on all sides versus a wreath bow that's going to be seen strictly from the front. Of course, this lantern will be positioned where you view it from the front, but anyway, that's how I'm going to make it. I am going to make these loops 6 inches, but as I make my loop, I'm going to kind of pull it down and kind of separate it from the pink. Each time I'm going to twist and get that right side up. And of course you think this is clear ribbon, it wouldn't have a right and wrong side, but I'm going to go ahead and twist anyway. Just in case there's a little difference in that iridescent foil. I don't really think it is, but it just depends on how you're looking at it, looks like. So I'm going to end that off, cut that tail. Kind of spread my tails and my loops out. That will just kind of help me keep it separated a little bit as I go. Now next I'm going to do the blue. The green has just popped completely off the roll. The green is a different manufacturer, and you can tell it just has a different feel to it. It feels thicker than the first 2 that I've used, but like I say, that's just a different manufacturer. It doesn't have that iridescent on the ends either. Take the blue, cut that little folded end off. I'm going to make that shorter tail again, maybe about 14 inches. Drop that down. This time I'm just going to pull that tail right out to the side. And this time I'm going to start making my loops a little bit smaller. I'm going to go with like a 5-inch loop. Twist, right side up. 5-inch loop on the opposite side. It's just a little bit shorter. I'm going to go ahead and make another 5-inch loop. Each time twist, get your right side up. Okay, and now end that off and trim off that tail. You can see I'm not measuring that too very well. We can always trim up those tails later. Spread that loop out a little bit. Loops. And then I'm going to finish off with the green, 1.5 inch. And I'm going to unfold that. I'm going to go ahead and angle that ribbon. I like to angle my 1.5 inch ribbons and like do a dovetail cut on the others. I'm going to stick to about that 14 inch tail, drop it down. I'm just going to keep my pattern of twisting. I may not need to, but I'm in that habit, so I'm just going to stick with it. I'm going to make a 5 inch loop. Twist. Make a 5 inch loop on the other side. This does kind of tend to pop out of your, between your pegs as compared to like regular ribbon, but it's still okay. Just a little something different. I just needed something sparkly today. I didn't have anything glitter to work on, so I thought, well, I'll use jelly ribbon. See if that won't lift spirits a little bit. Okay, so now we have 4 loops. We have 2 loops on each side of the line. Now what I'm going to do now is make one more smaller loop, and that's going to be my finishing loop. It's just going to be a couple of inches, and that's how I'm going to end off my ribbon. Get that out of the way. Just going to make just a loop. That's just going to cover up my mechanics. So it's just going to be a couple, just about 2 inches there, and then pull that tail down out of the way. Now, I've got all my loops and tails. That last little loop is going to cover up my mechanics. So I'm going to take my not my chenille stem, my zip tie, and I'm going to go under my loops, make sure that I get all my ribbons, just thread it under there, go ahead and secure it a little bit, but don't pull it tight, just pull it enough to where you can take your ribbon off the board. Keep holding onto your bow. Get that out of the way. Now, and again, before I pull it tight, I'm going to take that zip tie and bring it around to the bottom. Pull it to the bottom of your bow. And now I'm ready to pull that chenille stem tight as I can get it. You want to compress that clump of ribbon down as tight as you can get it. And well, before you pull your zip tie completely tight, take your other zip tie or a chenille stem and thread it under there, because you're going to need something to attach your bow to the lantern. So thread your zip tie under there. Now then, pull it tight as you can get it. Okay? Okay, if you make wrists or you make mini bows, you need some wire cutters. These are just Stanley wire cutters. Snip that tail off. Then you've got your chenille stem, I'm sorry y'all, zip tie to use to attach it to your lantern. So just kind of hold on to that, and now then you're ready to fluff your bow out. Sorry, I knocked something off. Pull that last little loop over to cover up your zip tie, and then just fluff out your ribbons. Just put your fingers in there, fluff them out. Spread those loops out, and fluff that bow. I like that. It'd be perfect for an Easter basket. Okay, now I will work on trimming the tails after I get it attached to my lantern. I'm going to take my bow and secure it to the top of my lantern using that extra zip tie. Just trim off that tail. And then I'm just going to finish fluffing out my bow. I don't know if you can see all of that or not, but you can kind of curl those ends of that ribbon to kind of have a little bit of curl to it. And to trim, to make your dovetail cut, you just fold the ribbon lengthwise and then cut on the fold, cut away from you. And that makes a dovetail cut. You probably couldn't see that on that clear ribbon. I did this pink one, but just fold it lengthwise and then cut on the fold away from you, upward. And like I say, on my 1.5 inch ribbons, I usually just cut those at an angle. I'm going to trim the rest of those. And then I'll get, I'm going to kind of work in my lights, but let me finish trimming my ribbons first. You know, sometimes you just can't really fluff your ribbons till you get your item in position. So like when I put it on my hearth, I can fluff it out a little more. I'll work on the loops. I'm going to take my little lights that I pulled up through the top and just kind of weave them in and out the bow, just to make it a little more sparkly. Okay, I like that. Okay. And there it is. It's just a little different. I think my bunny may be sitting a little crooked. He's very light. And of course, when I pick him up and move the lantern to the hearth, he's probably going to fall off and I'll have to set him up again. But anyway, that's it. All the supplies came from Trendy Tree. And I'll give you the links to everything that I use. So, just during these trying times, find things to do that make you happy, take care of your family, check on elderly neighbors that may, you know, not need to get out and go to the store. Just do what you can to help others. Thanks. See you next time.